Dude, this was Dauntless. It was Phoenix Labs. Dauntless had some problems.
Context: Project Dragon, also known as Everhaven, an ambitious game by ex-Phoenix Labs developers, was cancelled after over 3 years of development. The game mixed elements from Minecraft and Stardew Valley as well as its own unique, clever stuff. After the game got canned, former devs released footage and images from the game.
Phoenix laid off all 100 employees and canceled several projects in development. When studios killed projects, they don't always let staff, current or former, publicly speak on nor show at length what they've been working on. Project Dragon was a voxel game. No shit. I didn't know that the people who made Dauntless were making a voxel. Wonder, that looks really cool. I wonder why. I wonder why they chose to scrap this one. I mean, it is just like concepts. Technically speaking, it must have been really, really difficult to build. Look at these, god, dude, this art style is freaking rad, though. Like, that has so much flavor to it, man. So, this is rare to see. When an internal game gets canceled, you usually will never hear about it. And what you're seeing here is a thread where the game's embargo was lifted after it was canceled. And an embargo means you're not allowed to talk about it, not allowed to do anything, right? So the fact that they lifted this is huge, but look at the concepts for these characters. They're just so interesting, man. Like, there's so much flavor and style in this world that they made. They've got a character with arm accordions. He's like a wind instrument that got wind spirits near him. It's based on these types of flutes. Like, look at this. That has an immense amount of style to it. Just an immense amount of style. Stuff that we don't see a lot of in games right now. Really, really beautiful. Pieces rotate to form expressions, so the face actually rotates to show the next piece. That's awesome, dude. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Is like, that's just a really interesting way to build a character. I love this. The blinders on the dragon, talking about the individual animated components, different ways that hats work on the characters. The models for this just look rad. This reminds me of, God, what's that game? Spiral Knights? The goggles on this remind me of Spiral Knights. Have you ever seen that game? Spiral Knights had a really cool theme to it. Look at this. He's like a big caterpillar with boots. It's called the Trundle Pillar. All right. Ridiculous. I am so sad we don't get to explore this world. That is a cool-ass looking game. It really is. They have so many different characters, so many different models, so many interesting ways of exploring the world. Like, this is just rad, dude. All the different ways that you can build your character out. This was a very far along project. Look at the way that they were doing, like, prosthetics in this game. That's cool as shit, dude. Look at the way that they did the little fire elemental, too. Very calcifer. But this is what the world looked like. It was a voxel-based world with destroyable environments. And they were doing angular voxels, so they had, like, you can see there's diagonal cuts and 90-degree cuts as well. You're sold? It's canceled. It's canceled. We didn't know about it, and the embargo has been lifted now that it's canceled. They had it in development for 3 years. It's by the same studio that did Dauntless. Airborne Studios and Phoenix Labs were working on it together. That's sad as shit, dude. They're showing off all of the art for it, and everyone's like, why aren't you making this game? The general response from the internet is going to be, make this. Like, what are you doing? It's a huge amount of potential. Letting artists show canceled works should be the norm going forward. It really should, because I think, you know what's going to happen from this? There's a pretty good chance that the internet goes, what the hell are you doing? Let them make this game to such an extent that the studio might be able to fund this game. I've never seen a studio do this before. Never. Especially not with something so compelling looking. Usually when it's something canceled, they're like, oh yeah, it's kind of bare bones. But this is really goddamn cool looking. Like, even just little model stuff like this. There's so much flavor and style even in just like a little fence, right? Because the way that they have the bent sticks going through it. And like they put a shitload of effort into the polish of this, dude. This was a desert environment. Oh man, that sucks. What a cool looking freaking game, man. Yeah, it looks cool as hell. Like, that looks rad as shit, man. I wonder how far out from launch this was. In a world of, like, copy-pasted, boring-ass characters and environments, the visual style just oozing from this is incredibly refreshing, dude. Yeah, a few weeks from early access? What are you doing? Launch that. That's nuts to me. I haven't seen a game that far along looking that compelling that's been canceled probably ever. They almost always enter early access, and then you find out the flaws from there. Like, this is crazy shit to see. We were weeks away from announcing. So not early access, weeks away from announcing. I saw people saying early access, but that's not what announce means. Seeing all the work for Project Dragon drop into the internet at once is wild. This looks like an incredibly compelling game that was only weeks away from announcing. Yeah, no, that's wild. That is completely wild to me. When you get this shit kind of canceled like this, dude, you would get shit that is like, it's all concepts. Everything is concepts. But they have animation, they have modeling, they have rigging. Like, that's wild to see that it's so close to like a living, breathing world, and they kill it. What you need to do when you're trying to convince a company to do this shit, dude, is you need to prove that there is a financial incentive to do this. There has to be a financial incentive to continue said project. And I think with this one, they could get that finance on the internet. They could do it. This is one of those games where, like, if they would have announced it and would have said that they're entering like a Kickstarter funding thing, people would have lost their damn minds. I'm actually amazed that they didn't go that route before killing it off. Yeah, Kickstarter and see what happens. Bingo. Because this is like a lot of really compelling shit. It's a lot of designs for types of creatures and characters we've never seen before. It's very unique and really good looking. And that's not normal, right? I see so many games, and a lot of them have like the kind of samey style to them. This has got a lot of really cool shit, dude. Like a lot of really cool shit. They had the character editor out, like a video of it as well. So it showed what you would look like on all the different mounts and everything like that. Dude, this just makes me sad. Like, that's all that shit does. All that shit, this shit just makes me sad. That's a cool ass looking game. I feel robbed. Like as a player, I feel robbed. That's wild, dude. It's one thing in a game when it's all concepts. It's another thing when you have functionality. It's another thing when you have rigging. Like the breathing ends are there, all the rigging, the eye rigging, like all of this stuff is set up. Like, that's so far along for that to get canceled. Like, that's so far along. It is fully rigged. Yeah, all the models are fully rigged, dude. There's demo gameplay. Let's go see what the demo gameplay looks like. The demo's probably gonna be rough as shit. I wouldn't be surprised. That doesn't even look shit. That looks so much better than I thought it was gonna look. Now I'm sad. It's just the FPS. That's Twitter. That's not the game doing that. That's Twitter doing that. Yeah, it's Twitter videos are ass, dude. Oh my god, the little dudes have noises. Son of a bitch. They gotta rethink this. This is so far along in dev. Like, this is so far along in development. This was even their pre-alpha right here. Look at the way the blocks pop in. It's not like Minecraft where they just appear. They do like a jiggle. Boing. Something about that feels nice where it's like, boom. Shit, man. That sucks. That sucks and it makes me upset. No. The big question is, man, is how much money did they need? That's the biggest question. You have a team, what they say, like 100 people got fired. How many people were working on that team? How much was their burn rate? What did it cost them every month to operate? Where was the pain point? Because that game looks really compelling, like crazy compelling. Someone somewhere decided that that game was too expensive to launch. My hope is that, and this is a rare thing, positive social media pressure, right? Not negative social media pressure, not cancel this studio, not any of that shit. Positive social media pressure of, I want to buy this game. Like, I would buy this game. Yeah, I'm going to put in, legitimately wish to know why this was canceled, as it looks insanely good. Even crowdfunding rounds would have worked with what they show off here. I would easily buy this game, even in an early access state, based...
Was this story based? Yes, it was.
...on gameplay footage in this thread, linked thread as well. Yeah, like, this is... It's crazy to me. Crazy to me that they would cancel that kind of a thing. Like, there's no reason for that. That's wild, dude. I think the thing that blows me away about this, dude, is how much they have done before announcing. Like, that's crazy, dude.
Much later.
It appears that they're not going to relinquish the IP for Project Dragon. You guys didn't know this, but after I found out about Project Dragon, I found that to be very, very compelling, and I reached out to a number of other developers that got dropped during that, found out all the companies that were involved, and reached out to those companies to find out what their price was, to see if there was a chance that we could obtain the IP, rehire some of the members of the team, and go forward with that game. The reason why I did this is because the game was 3 weeks away from launch and 3 months away from, or 3 weeks away from announcing and 3 months away from going into early access. It's incredibly close. So that would be a risk. It'd be a gamble, but it looked like something that would be worth it. Company never responded to us. In fact, they didn't respond to anybody that contacted them, which sucks. And I don't really know what to do about that. So it is likely that the parent company that owns them does not want to sell or does not want to talk to anybody about it. It's kind of how it works. And if they don't want to do that, there's nothing that anyone can do. The concern that I have is the owner of this is actually Fort, F-O-R-T-E. And Fort, if you go pull them up, is the current owner. So they own the studio that started working on this stuff. They're a crypto company that wants to add blockchain into games. So the only thing that I'm worried about here is two things. One, they killed it for some kind of tax scheme shit. Or two, they killed it because it didn't have blockchain shit in it. And now they own this IP, and they're just not responding to anybody. That's the craziest ass part about this. The game is playable, my dude. They have a working world environment. They were 3 weeks away from launch, from announcing, and then 3 months away from launch. Awesome looking game. That is an awesome, awesome looking game. That sucks, dude.